Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise, Darren Till! So that's the official announcement. UFC Liverpool is happening. As you can imagine, this guy is going to be main event, the star attraction. You're pretty excited. You've been holding this in for about a day now, and I can see it bouncing out of you. Come on, talk to me about it.
My heart's pumping, mate. I don't know what to say. Words can't describe it. It doesn't do it justice, words. So it's coming, and I'm going to be the first scouser to ever have done it. In 200 years, they're going to remember my name in combat sports in Liverpool. So I'm going to take someone's chin off in Liverpool. That's what's happening.
I'm glad that you're all excited. To be honest, Liverpool at the moment is absolutely heaving for MMA talent. There's a load of good guys in your gym.
Yeah.
There's a load of good guys coming through on Cage Warriors. Talk to me about what it means for the city of Liverpool to get all these fighters on there.
In my gym, there's loads of guys. There's Michael Grundy, there's Tom, there's the guy just fought on Cage Warriors, Paddy, Molly. There's millions of guys. Danny at the back's fighting tomorrow. There's so many guys. It's just going to do so much for Liverpool. It's never happened, and I just feel like jumping into the crowd.
and how many times have you envisaged that walkout? I mean, the Echo's never been sold out. Is that correct?
In combat sport, it's never been sold. In boxing or MMA or whatever, and in 60 seconds it'll be sold out when it gets announced. So I know this to be. I know what's going to happen, and I've dreamed all this, Dan, and it's coming through hard work and a good mentality, and you know, I don't know. I just don't know.
It's very exciting. So we've got some media, and I think we've got some questions from the media. Anybody? Can I see a microphone somewhere? Here we go. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Go for it.
Well, Darren, obviously we're just finding out that you're going to be on this card, and just it's going to be in Liverpool. The obvious question is, who's going to be on the other side of the cage?
Wonder Boy. It's not about anything. I want to fight everyone in the division to prove I'm the best, but you know, I consider Wonder Boy one of the best strikers in the UFC, and I want to see if my striking can outstrike his striking. You know, he comes from karate, I come from Muay Thai, and I know I can outsmart him. I know I can knock him out. I know that.
I know that's the fight you want. Have UFC officials, have they given you any indication that that'll be the fight that happens?
Sorry, what was that?
Have they indicated that that's the fight you will get?
I don't know, mate. Anyone in the top 10, anyone. Wonder Boy, if he doesn't accept, there's other guys. You know, I've asked for everyone, and I just want to fight anyone. It's not a thing of calling this guy out, and I just want to fight them all to prove I'm the best. It's not about getting to the title the quickest, because, you know, some guys, they want a short route to get there because they're scared, and they get the title and they're scared to lose it. I want to prove that I am the best, so I want to fight all, you know, against all mixed martial artists to prove I am the best. That is my mentality, you know, about it. I don't feel like after this fight or another fight, I'll deserve a title. I want to work my way up, beating every guy the honest way.
Thanks.
So you picked Wonder Boy out as your ideal opponent, but ultimately you want to be proved to be the best striker in the division. So if we look at some of the other strikers out there, they got the likes of Robbie Lawler would be a nice one, you know, the Masvidals, the RDAs out there. Do you think there's a person that makes a bad fight in the top 10?
No, as I say, Dan, I do believe I'm one of the best fighters in the world, and you know they're names that don't get mentioned enough. You know, like I've said Wonder Boy, but like you said, then Lawler and Masvidal. Like, Masvidal just sits in the background. No one mentions his name, but he comes. He's game as fuck. Like I'm game. Me and him will just try and take each other's heads off for 5 rounds, be a bloodbath, and then Liverpool will just go mad for it. So you know, people like him and Lawler, that's who I want to fight if I can't get the Wonder Boy fight.
So Wonder Boy's not confirmed yet. We're still waiting on that. I have heard a rumor that it's going to be a top 10 fighter. We do know that. Obviously, the top 10 division's all up open at the moment. There's a lot of good matchups for you there, but expressing a need for a striker, I think it's a good idea. Well, obviously, the Liverpool crowd are going to love you banging heads with someone else in the division.
Just elbows, just a 5-round elbow war.
Is that the rule? Elbows only?
Just elbows only.
Do we have another question from the media? Any more questions from the media? No? I thought Jim Edwards had one. Where are you, my friend? You got one? There we go. Where's Nick P? I thought he'd be bouncing on his chair.
Shithouse.
Darren, do you want to give us a prediction on how quickly you think this is going to sell out?
60 seconds, Jim. The fastest sellout ever, I'm telling you. Trust me. Dana's on record talking about Dublin. And, you know, I've fought in Dublin in 2015, and the Scousers are going to top any event that's ever happened in the UFC. I am very confident about that. It's just going to be ridiculous, trust me. 13,000 people standing up, throwing pints at each other in that arena. That's what's going to happen.
And just lastly, Was there something you actually dreamed of? Is this something you can actually kind of tick off the bucket list, I guess, that you had for your career?
Yeah, it's Vegas and that happens, doesn't it? And the Madison Square Garden and I'm a Scouser. I don't know for how many years they've wanted to bring it to Liverpool. I remember when I was coming up, and like one of my inspirations, Terry, you know, they were going to come because of him, and then it's never been done, and then now it's getting done because of me. As I say, mate, in 200 years when they talk about MMA in Liverpool, my name will get mentioned, and you know, at 25, mate, I can't say much more about that.
And just one last cheeky one. What's well, Dan just said there, the contract isn't signed with Wonder Boy, so what's the message to him sitting at home right now?
Sorry, mate, I didn't catch that.
What's the message to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson?
Sign it and come and prove that I'm just like, you know, a one-hit wonder that everyone just says that. They just see me come on the scene now and beat Sony, but they haven't seen what I've done for 15 years before that. Just come and prove that I'm this one-hit wonder. You know, come and prove that your striking's better than mine. And, you know, he says that, you know, I've got to work my way up, but when he fought Hendricks, he was ranked 10th and Hendricks was 2. So give me that opportunity to prove that I can beat you.
We were talking about this earlier, actually, about how the Cowboy fight jumped you so far up in people's estimations of you. And I mean, it's a credit to Cowboy, really, to show how people respect him. But
I just feel like people are sort of banging on the head about it now. Like, to me, that fight was over a week later. Like, and I know there's been created a lot of hype, and that's great. If people want to hype me up and hype me down, I couldn't really care. But I just want to fight now and prove that I am the best. That, you know, Cerrone's over. The guys I beat before that are over. I'm 16-0. No one's beat me yet. Do you know what I mean? You can say what you want, but no one's beat me. And I just want to prove that I'm the best. So people can keep talking about Cerrone. I just want to fight the next guy. Now, I forgot about Cerrone. Cerrone's in the past. He was dead in the first round. That's it.
So there's some relief here for you. Now you can start thinking about the future and moving past that Cerrone.
Yeah. I don't want to get asked the Cerrone question no more. I want to get asked about Wonder Boy and Dos Anjos and Masvidal. I want to fight them guys.
Yeah. It's the deepest division really out there at the moment.
It's the hardest division.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. You know, there's loads of names. People don't mention Usman, Gunnar, Damien.
Yeah, Ponzinibbio's up there.
Ponzinibbio, Woodley. They're all guys. It's just the hardest division. And I'm amongst them, and I want to prove I'm the best amongst them.
Absolutely. Right, I think we've got another question. Please fire away.
Obviously, this is the first time that... over here.
Sorry?
In the middle.
Right down the front.
Down here.
Sorry.
This is the first time that the UFC is going to Liverpool. There's a lot of up-and-coming talent. Are you hoping for any local fighters to be on that card as well? Maybe anyone that you train with?
Yeah, I have to talk about my teammates. Michael Grundy there's a lot of like stuff going on in MMA now, like boxers coming to MMA and MMA going to boxing, whatever. And these are celebrities who've got millions of pounds, and you've got a teammate like my teammate Michael Grundy, who's wrestled in the Olympics, and he's just an honest, hard-working guy who's beaten everyone. He's number 1 in England, and he just wants that one shot. If he gets to UFC and gets 3 defeats, it doesn't matter. As long as he gets his shot, he deserves his shot more than the CM Punks of MMA. He deserves it. CM Punk's got millions of pounds.
And you feel like you're opening the door for these fighters. I mean, you know, obviously the UFC is going to Liverpool now, so we're going to be looking at pulling in some of that local talent, of which there's a lot. I mean, we were at Cage Warriors the other week with Paddy and Molly fighting, and the atmosphere is crazy. Yeah,
and it was half of the arena sold on. You seen what? I think they wrecked the set and that, didn't they? So you just see what it is.
That was when they saw you.
They saw me. I wrecked it with them.
Yeah, but then they put it back. That was the difference between some of the places we've been. So the Scousers knocked over all the set, knocked over the lights, the chairs, the railings and everything when Paddy won his fight, and then immediately put it all back. It was amazing. It was like immediately all these kids in North Face jackets with what's the haircut?
Fucking Ketwigs, is
it?
The
Ketwig, there you go. All these kids, it was amazing to watch. So I'm expecting a real good atmosphere in there as well. We got another question?
Yeah. Question for both of you, actually. And Dan, I'd like you to kind of weigh on this first, if you don't mind. For those of us that were fortunate enough to be inside the arena, Dublin 2014, you know what we're talking about here. We've always wondered, you know, what could be another event on this side of the world that can generate that kind of fan atmosphere inside the arena. Do you think Liverpool could top Dublin?
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, Dublin was special because, Conor McGregor was just coming to his peak. The world was starting to realise what a phenomenon he was going to be. The same thing's happening here with Darren. The difference is that I mean, Conor had a lot of teammates that came through, but the guys from Liverpool are making their own way in the sport without the assistance of that big figurehead. They don't need Darren Till to bring the UFC to Liverpool. It just so happens that Darren's going to be the figurehead while all these other fighters get to show their skills as well. So I think it's important that we also look at the other talent on the card because they're deserving of being in the UFC, you know, without a main event fighter like Darren.
And just one more question, this for Darren. You know, we spoke to Michael Bisping yesterday. He's adamant he wants his final fight to take place in England. He wants that fight to perhaps be this summer. This looks like an opportune time for him to perhaps co-main event. You know, and it'll be a nice kind of passing of the torch, so to speak, where it's his retirement fight and it's kind of your coming out party. What do you think about that?
I don't think Bisping's like a co-main. I think if he's fighting, he's a main. I'm not, you know, I'm not ahead of him. But yeah, fucking Bisping co-mained or whatever, that's like a passing of the torch. You know, he said like he thinks I'm one of the guys from England who's the future, and you know, a lot of respect there. And I feel like I am one of the guys who's the future. And if he wants to fight on it, and that'd be even bigger than what it's already going to be. You know, I bet your Twitter's blowing up now. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be better than Dublin. Trust me, 100%.
One more question, and then I have one more for you.
And there's so many great MMA fighters coming out of Liverpool now. Can you talk to us about the growth of MMA fighters from Liverpool?
Liverpool people, they're just tough people. They just love fighting, and they see a direction with it being boxing or MMA. And, you know, a kid can leave school and he can find inspiration from guys like Conor McGregor and Bisping and whatever, even myself if they do. So, you know, they just love fighting, and they're just, at the moment, MMA's evolving. It's just getting so good by the day. The kids are so good. You see them in the gym, and right now Liverpool's the hot pot for it all. You know what I mean? I feel like it's going to be a card just full of Scousers, and you know there's going to be a Girl Scouser on it in Molly. So heart's just racing. I just don't know.
Thank you for your question. So we're at the O2 now. Let's switch gears because there's going to be a lot of time to get excited about these fights coming up.
It's time to get excited about London.
Yeah. So let's talk about the O2 Arena. Let's talk about this card tomorrow night. Pick one of the fights off it that you're most interested in, and why?
The main event. Okay. I think Verdum just such a relaxed ground game, and like he's got so much better with a stand-up. You've seen what he done when he fought Kane for the title, and then I was there in Rotterdam when Volkov fought against Struve, and he picked him apart, and that's all. Like, I think it's just an interesting heavyweight match to see whether Verdum strikes with Volkov or tries to, like, you know, invite him into his guard. It's interesting heavyweight fight. I'm looking forward to the main event.
You're going to be stealing my job when you're done fighting. I can see it now. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise. The UFC-Liverpool headliner, Darren Till. We'll be back in 2 seconds with the weigh-ins. Please stay in your seats.